Hi guys, so this is Joey or Rowan and this is the picture water video. So I thought we'd start off in the old space, and this is the water corner on my altar, and we have the little water elemental guardian down there and a piece of rose quartz and amethyst, and this with the amazonite within the candle, and the candles in different shades of blue, a dark blue, a medium blue and a light greyish blue with the moons on, is a perfect representation of water and its connection with the moon and the goddess. So I thought we'd start off showing that, and then I shall move the earth candle back now. And then down here is I have water and salt, and I actually, there's a bit of rosemary in my blessing salt. So I actually keep them in these shot glasses. So that one is salt, and then water, the blessed water for my altar is there. These are actually shot glasses, but I really like how they look, so that's what I keep them in, and they're a good size for my mini altar that you've all seen before. So I'm just going to show you using this little bowl. There we go. How I would create some very simple and easy to use blessing water. So I would start off by adding salt. Like so. And then some spring water. And I'm just going to, there we go, swap hands, and using my projector finger, may the salt bless the water, may the water bless the salt, may the salt bless the water, may the water bless the salt, may the salt bless the water, may the water bless the salt. So mote it be. I might stir it a little bit more just to help. It won't totally mix in. And then you could then use this to sprinkle around your home. But a use that I frequently use these for, and I actually forgot to mention this in the other video, is for the cleansing of crystals. These are actually cleansed, they were cleansed on the full moon, and it's a really wonderful time to cleanse and then charge your crystals every full moon, so making it part of the Sabbat ritual. So doesn't that look pretty? All ready to be cleansed, and like that. And something I mentioned in the other video was that the element of water sort of rules over emotions, and that love could come into this. And a really wonderful crystal for this is rose quartz. I actually use rose quartz as one of my crystal wands. This was a gift from a friend, and so it has extra special meaning. It's actually got a little bit of salt on it. And rose quartz has a really wonderful loving energy, and it is associated with the element of water, which is why it's on my altar there. At the back you can see it there. But it has a really wonderful energy for beginners and oldies alike. I always sort of put the energies of rose quartz crystal akin to that of a purring kitten, because it's that sort of gentle, warm, wonderful feeling that I get when I hear kittens or cats purr. I think that sort of amazing energy, and it's a gentle, loving, warm, feminine energy. And this is a wonderful crystal to carry with you to help bring love into your life in a very general way, and can be used for friendship spells and bringing friendship and love into your life in that way, as well as self-love and self-healing spells and things like that. So this is the crystal that I point massage rose quartz tumblestone. I'm not sure what exactly they call it, a little wand. It's one of my favourite stone things that I currently own, and I really, really love it. So you can of course use these for healing as well. So let's see, this is Priodite. It's a really unusual crystal that can be really fantastic for healing, and a really great way to heal yourself with crystals and water is to put these in your bath. I mean, be very, very careful with them getting in and out, and where you pop them. Maybe get in the bath first, and then bring the crystals in with you, and only use tumblestones, nothing that's going to disintegrate or be damaged by the process. But tumblestones would be wonderful for that. And Priodite's a really unusual stone. This was also a gift, and it's a really deep healing, getting rid of stresses and things type stone. So that one's actually not part of the crystal grid, but it's there to be cleansed. So the next thing I want to talk about is shells. So I'm just going to get some shells out a second, and I will flick the camera back on. So here's a collection of shells that I came across when I last went to the seaside, and I don't get to go very often, and I collected these just in time for the Blue Moon Esbat, and therefore I use them, apart from this one which has a separate use, only on the Esbats. And the Esbat is a time of honouring the moon goddess, and her connection with the sea comes to the forefront there and then. Now this is what I call my female shell, which I place in the cauldron, and I have some little shells. Anyway, so some of, like this one represents earth, and then the more orangey one is one that I use for fire. These two are for the goddess. This one represents air because it's so windswept looking. And that one's water. I use this spiral for spirit. Anyway, so there's 5 of these little ones, which I then put in a pentagram shape around the cauldron, which I shall do now. Let you look at that shell for a minute. Around the candle lid, because the candle is the tool of the goddess, a representative of spirit like that, and then water, seawater, or normal spring water can then be poured in to seal that honouring, basically. I shan't do that because I want to reuse this water for the next part of the video to show you for something else. This shell, it's a dark shell, I gave it an offering to Morrigan, so it actually sits this way on the altar. I then put two onyx and 1 obsidian gemstone in, because Morrigan has a water tie in a number of different ways, but so that sits on the altar like that in offering to her. So that's a way in which a shell directly from the ocean can be used in a number of different ways to honour Goddess through water, if you like. Okay. So this next bit is about a healing spell that you can use, and I forgot to actually talk about healing spells as much as I intended to originally. Healing spells with water are what I tend to use for my big gun healing spells. I've maybe used healing spells with water for other people 2 or 3 times in my entire life, and they tend to be for very specific, very heavy duty healing. The first time was when I went into my sister's room, who she'd then run off with her then boyfriend, who was a real manipulator. He turned out to be domestically violent as well, and he was pagan supposedly, and he was a Sankey vampire, and proud of the fact. And he'd actually given her a love spell, which the point of which was to tie her heart to him, and it was layers upon layers of different things, with a representation of her heart filled with all this black gunk in the middle, and it was vile. And I was led, I don't know how I found it. I basically found it because I was led to by the goddess or spirit, and then she led me to what to do, because I was absolutely terrified about how to undo it without doing my sister any harm. And what I actually did was had a great big bowl of water with salt. I was led to put certain herbs in and let them steep, and then bless it and enchant it and bring all the hurling properties into the water, and then one thing at a time take it apart underwater and take cleansing all the bits as they came out, and finally taking the little heart stopper out the heart representation and letting all that black gunk come out of it, cleanse it, and then I wrapped that up in a white bag with healing herbs and put it back where the spell had been left. And it didn't take much longer after that to break free of his nonsense by herself. So what you could do for a simple healing spell is take your blessed water that has blessed with salt, and if you're doing it for yourself, you then put like your name on a piece of paper or a representation of yourself into the water with the salt, and then you could put, say, a crystal on top, like the preonite, because the preonite is a really great stone, as I said, for healing. And then you could add a purification or healing mixture like this one. Now this has lavender and rose petals and chamomile and nettle. I do like my nettle. And all sorts of things in. I'm going to pour some in because I can't see very well through the plastic. So juniper, and a willow, I think. Probably has angelica in as well, knowing me. Right, so then you would stir it 3 times or 9 times clockwise, depending on how you felt. And then do the invoking pentagram. May this person or me be cleansed of all their ills and hurts. May the power of the water and the herbs and the crystals shine through and allow no more harm to come to this person. May they be healed in the love and in light. Blessed be. So something like that, and then you could leave it on the windowsill to, like you would charge your crystals, charge and cleanse your crystals. You could then leave it on the windowsill in the light of the moon and of the sun to cleanse and charge in male and female energies, and the water will absorb that and take everything away. And then you take your crystal out, go cleanse that separately. You take the piece of paper out, maybe wrap it in white paper and healing herbs like I did. You could always bury that if you wished, and then throw the water down the drain or flush it down the loo and let water take the water away to be cleansed. So one of the last things I want to show you, and my current personal favourite, is my own purification bath mixture. And I made this with the intent in mind of Morrigan, who has all sorts of obscure sea and river references, and Morgan Le Fay is a one which is in debate, but I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. But this is made in her honour, and this is a bath mixture which you could then use on special occasions or once a week or regularly, you know, however often you felt about it, to cleanse yourself within the bath. And this is actually made from Himalayan pink salt, which is found from the foothills of the Himalayas, formed over 250 million years ago from unpolluted seas, is unrefined, without additives, and is really wonderful for all sorts of things, but bathing is one of them. And it has that pink, gentle, healing energy, very, very like the rose quartz. You could put a couple of rose quartz in this, and this would be an ideal purification healing mixture for all sorts of things, including the bath. I don't know how little silver stars have got in here. I didn't put them in, they found their way in. So there's one right there, but there you go, that's how things are in my house. Glitter finds its way into everything. And then I added rock salt into the mixture, and jasmine flowers, lavender from my home, and rose petals. And it's a really simple, really beautiful mixture which you can bless. So do your invoking pentagram, and you pour into running water, and you imagine the bath filling with white light, and you can even do the invoking pentagram in the bath water as well before you get in, and you have a gorgeous smelling, because it does smell beautiful, and beautiful looking bath that you can purify yourself with. And you could use this for rituals, for esbats, for anything, you know, any sort of cleansing bath that you're using as part of your ritual, or just to help boost your self-love, self-healing and self-cleansing. So that is the last thing I wanted to show you on this picture video. Many blessings.